Alright guys, welcome back. CFP here, and this is Survival Living. So this is kind of a part 2 of our grid down power issue. When the grid goes down, how are you going to provide power, cook food, boil water, keep warm, stay cool when the grid goes down? Down here in Florida, it gets hot. I've been out here for about 20 minutes. I already had to change my shirt 3 times. It's just soaked. Alright, so I've got a couple items that we didn't cover because most of it was in our storage facilities, and we got some new things going on. First thing I want to pop off here, because we just recently got this and did a review on, is the OKMO. I call it the OKMO 1000 portable power station. It can be recharged with the wall outlet, can be recharged with solar, and can be recharged with the vehicle. So I did a review on this, 30 some minutes. We put this thing through the test. So why am I bringing this up? Well, I like it. It's easy to like something when they send it to you for free, right? So, liked it so much, I got a second one. Yeah, this is the exact same thing, 1000 watts. We put this thing through the test, running circular saws, running a mini fridge, running fans, running a coffee pot, heavy loads. It works. So, we picked up a second one of those. Now, something that we haven't really shown much on because we don't have it erected here in Florida is an 800 watt wind turbine. Let's see if I can get that in the shot there. We usually keep this thing in storage. We've actually got an additional one in storage. The reason why it's not erected here in Florida, there's no constant wind that this thing should be erected up and actually start producing power. We have to hit a certain miles per hour on wind for this thing to start generating power. But this is for when we get out to Wyoming. Everything is actually just attached loose on here just so I can assemble it, because all the bolts and everything are they got that Teflon threading in it, so it locks in position. They won't come out, and I'm not about to crank down on them and not be able to take it apart. So set this off to the side. That is our wind turbine. That is going to be hooked up with our solar grid that we have shown in the past. Should be a pop-up there as a 2-part series of our solar system. I think it's Solar 101. We go through everything that we have on our trailer. Now, the wind turbine does come with a charge controller for the wind generator and everything. This thing here is to split down for our 12-volt system because it can produce up to 24 volts. But we got the 12-volt setup, so it breaks everything down so we're not overcharging and frying our 12-volt system that we have for our solar. So I said that came with it. Next up, I got a whole bunch of extra pipe in here, and I've got some pipe tape. This is for chimneys. We've got a wood stove. This is an Alpine wood stove. I bought this thing, I don't know, about 2 years ago. It's been in storage. It is going up to Wyoming with us. Now, this thing does have its flumes and everything else in here, so you can the dampener and everything, so that we can adjust it and all that stuff. This thing, it's got 3 additional piping. I don't like that flash resistor, suppressor, whatever you want to call it. I know it's got an actual name. I don't like that. I like the actual mounted ones. They just work much better. Just having this old metal screen like this, I don't like just having that. So that's going to get replaced before we get up to Wyoming. Get this in our house when we start building. But it is a wood stove. Having a wood stove to cook on, produce heat, things like that, is a very good idea for grid down. Now, if your home is not set up for a wood stove, things like that, this is a tent wood stove. As a disclaimer, I must say, they do say do not operate one of these things in a home. You got to build your house to specification. Now, we have some material. It's insulation material. It looks like fiberglass, what it looks like. To make a door gasket, we have that in storage too. This in here has got a grate, to help keep the coals off the belly of the stove itself. I've actually designed a different grate, so it's kind of a shaker. That way I can burn coal with this one. The main thing with coal in these wood stoves, you got to keep that heat off the direct spot of the belly, or you're going to burn it out. So this here is just a wood log grate for this one. Set that back in there. Like I said though, I've actually designed one to work for coal, and that way I can actually shake it and it actually works very well. So in theory, I'm a welder by trade. I build all kind of stuff, and in theory it'll work just fine. So that's what we will be taking up there to Wyoming for us. It does have this little vent slots and all that good stuff. These here are drying racks. Now this particular model, you can remove one of these drying racks right here. It's got little stubs, little holes that you can slide these things into, a little piece of pipe. They actually sell a huge water tank, stainless steel water tank that will bolt up directly to the side of this stove, so you're always boiling water. Pretty cool. It's like $70 for that. I forgot how much the stove is. I'm not even sure if they even sell this anymore. All these things are Amazon products. I know, the dreaded Amazon product. All YouTubers sell on Amazon because they make so much money off of it. Not true. We make pennies on the dollar. That's what we make. Now, when we do Amazon reviews and stuff like that, most of the time we get a product for free. We got that one for free. But I had to test it out before I was going to do the review, but I was going to test it out, and we did. We ran it for 2 days, running all kind of different things on it. We wanted to test these things out. These little portable power stations are really good. Now, the brand, OKMO, it's a new brand, okay? Nobody really knows or heard of these things. There are some larger YouTube channels and gear review channels, and those are the ones I like watching because they put these things through the test. They meter them out. They run everything through. They don't just plug in and go, oh yeah, well, this didn't work. It should have. But you have no idea of what the amps or anything else like that was coming out of the unit or needed for the unit to run. So I prefer going to gear review videos on things like this, or like our reviews. We put everything through the test. If it's crap, I'm going to say it's crap. If it's not, it's actually good quality. I can't just say it. I want to show it to you. That's the big difference between us and other channels. We pride ourselves on showing what works. Let me say that again. We show what works. All right, you see a wood stove, wind turbine. I've shown solar. Yeah, well, everyone shows that stuff, CFP. We live in a 6x12 cargo trailer. There's a playlist popping up here for you, and will be in the description, of me doing construction, putting in a bathroom, putting a Murphy bed in, hooking up our solar grid, everything onto that trailer. That trailer is what me and my wife live in. That is something that we're taking up to Wyoming when we start homesteading. It has to be able to provide power. It has to be able to give us facilities, water, all that stuff. We have to be able to use that to live in. And we've been doing the best test in the world. We've been living in it. Ever since we left Apopka, before the shutdown of last year, like late January of last year, we've been living in that thing. Sure, now we went on vacation, stuff like that. Yeah, it wasn't because we're trying to get away from the trailer. Being a YouTuber, I work 60, 70 hours a week. As a matter of fact, I am now a full-time YouTuber. Yeah, imagine that. My wife, she still works as a waitress at another place. I won't say where she works at, but she does that to help out too. I do this full time. She gave me the support, says crack down on it, keep on doing what you're doing, because we're doing a lot of outdoor survival videos too. Not just stocking up preps. Yes, electricity and all that stuff is great, especially grid down. But what happens when you lose all this stuff? What happens if you have a house fire? What happens if you have a freaking earthquake? Tsunami. Yeah, Cascadia, I'm talking about that. Florida. What happens when the ice caps melt? And they are. I'm not talking about cow farts from hashtag dipshit. I'm talking about actual science. You know, they just had, first time on record, rain in this particular part of Greenland. The temperatures are rising. Our weather pattern is changing. Now, this is nothing new, unlike what they want to try to spin on mainstream for you. You're not going to save the earth by, you know, your carbon footprint right now. This is something that happens every so often on Earth. The only thing, the big, I can't give you the number because I don't have it in front of me. There's plenty of research you can do on your own right there on Google. Pull up the actual documentation paperwork, not the libtard news media. Actual scientific reports, the paperwork they publish on this stuff. It has nothing to do with greenhouse gases. It has to do with the Earth constantly changing. And this time around, we as humans are seeing the change. Okay, so that's what's going on. Florida, well, it's going to be underwater. When? I don't know. All that ice keeps on melting until it all shifts again. Hey, there's the reason why I'm not going to stay in Florida. All right, trust me on that. So anyway, guys, just some quick ideas just to show you. Yeah, We do live what we preach. We have a wood stove. Now, most of the stuff we keep in storage because we're in a 6x12 trailer. But having a storage facility that I can easily get to, and we have multiple ways of getting to it, in case something happens, we can get to our supplies. Now, unfortunately, wind turbine, it's not going to do me no good here. I mean, you might see some wind blowing or a storm blow through or something like that, but for the most part, there's not enough wind. I think I have to have 12, if I remember correctly, it's like 12 to 13 mile-an-hour winds for this thing to start producing power. Luckily, where I have our property in Wyoming that we'll be homesteading, we got a constant wind there, and it's over 12 miles an hour. So, it's always producing power. So, anyway guys, till next time, catch y'all later.